could be us.
It's a party here.
Oh my God.
Who likes to party?
I like the party.
Oh, you like to party.
Too much bass.
Oh, so much bass for my face.
Curse.
What's up?
Nolan.
What's up, Jeremiah?
What's up, man?
Same old, same old.
Me too.
Thank you for having me
The
on.
coffee is really strong,
Really strong.
today. Holy
Really
shit.
strong.
Yeah, Houston Recovery Radio, we're back at you. We have Nolan Bearden. What's your name, right?
It's a big man.
Yeah. Nolan Bearden. He is a peer support recovery specialist through the Center of Wellness and Recovery. Right?
Center for Recovery and Wellness Resources.
All right, cool deal. So, yeah, we're going to talk to him today. He's going to tell us about what recovery means to him. He's a little bit of his story. I want to give a shout out to Transformation Enzymes. We're going to pay our rent here real quick.
You got to do that first.
All right, Transformation Enzymes is a integrative holistic health and wellness company that specializes in enzyme therapy. Detoxing from drugs and alcohol is physically and emotionally taxing on our bodies. It really is. Transformation Enzymes has a clinically proven line of probiotics and digestive enzymes that will help the healing process. It helps you digest certain nutrients you need for your physical and your mental well-being. Check them out. They've been really good to us. They let us sit up here in their boardroom. We'll include it in the link on the bottom of this live feed. It's transformationenzymes.com. All right, Nolan.
What's up?
It's all you, buddy.
What you want me to start with?
Let's hear a little bit about yourself first.
All right. Well, I was born in a tent on the Red River. I'm kidding. I wasn't really born on a tent on the Red River.
Our last guest was born in a manger, right, Ian?
I was let's see. I was born in Houston. Got adopted right at birth. Moved up to the Colony, Texas, up near Frisco.
Yep.
Where I used to work. Then moved to Little Elm, Texas. At that time, I want to say it was a 2A school. It was me and my older brother, Cody Bearden. Screw anonymity, right?
Yeah.
Well,
hey man, it's whatever you want it to be. This is your forum. So
it's
name names if you want to name names, man. We are not
cool.
AA.
All right, yeah. There's plenty of pathways for recovery.
Indeed.
Let's see. I want to say my addiction really started in high school, but my first experience with alcohol had to have been in 7th grade.
You were a party boy, weren't you?
I was a jock. Definitely a jock. But I didn't grow into my features until I was like older, so I was this awkward-looking kid. You know what I mean? Braces, fat cheeks, big ears. So I blossomed later on in life. I'm a beautiful flower. I remember drinking a Guinness that my dad left out, and I threw up so bad. So I didn't really drink another alcoholic beverage, I don't think, until about maybe my sophomore year in high school. And from then on, I want to say, no, not from then on, because I didn't get what I wanted. It was more like a feeling. Up, headache, throwing. I didn't like that. But I got a lot of funny stories about myself the next day. And that made me more popular than I was before. So in a sense, I liked the outcome, hated the effect. So fast forward, I played sports my whole life from the age of 4.
What sports you play?
Soccer, basketball, track, cross country, golf, football, the whole nine.
Is golf really a sport?
Riding around in golf carts.
Anyway, carry on.
But I was varsity pretty much everything. So I was very popular in school, and that wasn't necessarily enough for me, let's say, because I was a people pleaser. I was adopted at birth, so I didn't really understand what adoption really meant until probably about 6th or 7th grade. when I realized that my parents were much older than everybody else's parents. So right now, my mom and dad are about 74 and 75 years old. So when I was in high school, my parents are already in their late 40s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I felt a little different. My dad being, I don't want him to be watching this and be like, but my dad was a drunk. And I used to come home from school with my friends. I remember in elementary school and in middle school, and he'd be drunk, either passed out on the floor in his underwear listening to jazz music, or one big event was when I came home from school and he was watching an NBA basketball game, and he told me, "Hey, come play this video game," right? And he had the TV remote in his hand and handed me the TV remote to play a video game, and I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I didn't invite anybody back to my house for probably like a whole another year. You know,
Same. I grew up. My parents were off and on addicts too. So,
yeah.
Same scenarios.
Same scenarios. It's same scenarios, just different, just different picture frame. You know,
Yep.
we're all very similar. Let's see, age 17. See, I didn't really get into like people say that they remember drinking at age 4 and 5 and stuff like that. Dude, I did so many hardcore drugs. I don't remember. I don't remember probably till I was like 10 years old or something like that. But anyways, I didn't really start using hardcore drugs until about 17, and that was only to fit in. I was a jock. I was popular throughout the school, except for one particular group, and that was the partiers. You know, they smoked weed, they did cocaine, they just did everything that I wasn't about because I was real athletic. I ran 7 miles before school for cross country, went to school, did my homework, and that was it. You know, it was just a very set in stone life. I was very sheltered. And that's how it was. And these guys were having sex with these girls in high school, man. And they're like, "Oh man, you've had sex?" You know, I'm lying. Yeah, I had sex. You know, yeah. Try to be cool, but I hadn't had sex. Shoot, I barely even knew about it. You know, and it was. I remember doing cocaine for the first time with this dude, Kobe Mills, and it changed my whole life. Talk about being warped around something. Talk about like a higher power for to the extreme. That cocaine run went from the end of my age 16 to roughly 22 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And the only reason I stopped using cocaine was because my coke dealer upped his game. He started selling methamphetamine.
No.
Yeah, he wanted more money. It took me like a storm, but
no consequences out of that run.
Oh, what the cocaine run?
Yeah.
Let's see. Tried to burn down my coke dealer's apartment with a pellet gun and and a gas tank. Didn't think about he was there or nothing like that. I was like, in my head, I was just like perfectly clear. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna burn down this apartment. I'm gonna run in and I'm gonna steal all this cocaine.
Oh, good lord.
Didn't even get that far because the dude walked out and I had a pellet gun and a gas can. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, these aren't mine. I found these." Like, what? But that was after my getting kicked out of Tarleton State University. I thought a whole geographical change, or my parents did too. Thought going to Tarleton State University out in Stephenville, Texas, was the answer for that. Until I found myself getting arrested 3 or 4 times, and I got a call from the dean of the university, and she called me in and set me down and says, "You've been getting arrested a lot." I was like, no, man, that's just a part of it. You know, I'm rushing Lambda Chi. You know, it's just a party. She's like, "Are you drunk right now?" I was like, "No." Yeah, call me out. I'm reeking of alcohol. I was like, "No, it's the peppermints I ate." So like, you know, the peppermints you had this bowl. That's why I smell like alcohol. She's like, that doesn't even compute.
Yeah.
You know, but I was a liar. I lied my way through everything, and that was just what I thought I could get by with. I lied, like that was it. I got kicked out. And that was my first experience with the AA program. They sent me to the University of Behavioral Health in Denton, Texas, right there off 380, at the University Drive, you know. And in order to get my transcripts, it was like that was in order to even get my transcripts released,
you had to go get treatment.
I had to go get treatment, and I wouldn't say that I was alcoholic or anything like that or had a problem until the last day. We're going around the room and everybody's like, "Oh, my name is so and so, I'm an alcoholic. So and so, I'm an alcoholic." And the last day, I was like, "Okay, I'm Nolan Bearden and I'm alcoholic." They're like, "Aha!" I was like, "Wah!" But that was my first encounter with AA, and definitely didn't stop there. That didn't even put a damper on anything.
Keep
Oh,
going.
oh, keep going. I was like, oh,
For
no.
me, not for you. I'm
But
getting my cliff notes over here from Daniel.
But yeah, I
Talk a little closer to the mic, Daniel says.
closer
Well,
to
we'll
the
lean
mic.
in.
You want to hold it?
Can I gaze? Yeah.
Can I hold it like this?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
How do I look on camera like this?
Can I gaze into your eyes while you hold it like
I'm gonna
that?
look like this. But let's see. From the UBH building, I then continued my cocaine use. Thought I could go to NCTC off of 35 right there in Carrollton. Can you hear me better?
What is NCTC?
Okay. NCTC is the North Central Texas College.
Okay.
It's a junior college. I couldn't pass the university, so they kicked me out. Went to a junior college.
I'm from a junior college. I have an ass degree. I'm an associate of applied science. You're in the right club.
Hey! I'm only 2 classes away from my associates. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice.
10 years to get a 2-year degree.
Heck yeah, dude. Whatever it takes. All right. NCTC.
NCTC. Snorted and drank my way to get kicked out of that school too. But I let's just see. I'm trying to think of a recollection after that. Oh yeah, found myself getting kicked out of my home because, of course, 20 years old, still living with the parents, normal drug addict. Done smoked up the apartments and everything like that. I get kicked out of my house by coming home, and all my belongings are in cardboard boxes, sitting on the front porch, and my dad is crying. And me and my dad never had a good relationship, because he was in and out, and he had a mistress on the side for a long time that I didn't really know about. Me and my brother didn't really know about, but it was always a damper on me and my dad and my mom's relationship, and it carried over into our relationship. But it was one of those not, I wouldn't say the word touching, but it was seeing my dad cry was something I've never experienced in my life, because he's either been, drinking or just like he was a good dad. He really was. When he wasn't drinking, he was a good dad. He went to all my sporting events and everything like that. But to see a grown man cry like that was touching. I'm not saying that it helped me stop using drugs at all, by any means. No, drugs were the most important thing in my life at that point.
For sure.
But I got kicked out. I started hotel hopping with one of my girlfriends at the time, and I ended up homeless in Oak Cliff, Dallas. A white boy with all his belongings walking down Oak Cliff, because I tried to go to a treatment facility out there, but my zip code on my license was in Dallas County, so they wouldn't accept me. So I'm homeless at a homeless shelter in downtown Dallas, stuck, and I'm sitting in line at this food pantry that's connected to the homeless shelter, and I'm sitting there, and there's this lady behind me having a full conversation with 3 people by herself in her own head. And then this guy in front of me says, just don't even pay attention. In that moment, I was like, I don't belong here. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, what am I doing? So I called my dad, and he comes and picks me up and sends me to Valley Hope Rehab out there in Grapevine, Texas. And Valley Hope, well, we called it Valley Dope because there was a bunch of needles and syringes all in the volleyball courts. You couldn't even play volleyball in the sand volleyball court because there was needles, like syringes and everything. They're like even the nurses were like, don't go in the sand pit, But I went there, and those rehab loves. Yeah. Had a rehab love with this girl named Alexa. Dropped everything because my insurance ran out, and I had convinced her to moved to Colorado with her because she's from Colorado. She was visiting Texas. And we moved to Colorado on a whim. My parents put me on a Greyhound bus, me and her on a Greyhound bus, and we went out to Colorado. And that was on Christmas Day. We show up in Colorado. I break into her basement to get into her house because her mom wasn't home. So on Christmas Day, my first day in Colorado, I opened the front door with 3 guns drawn on my face by the Colorado Police Department. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, man, this is not cool, Alexa. I thought you said I could break this window and get in because you live here. But we didn't get in trouble because her belongings were there. I don't know. On a cool note, I got to smoke a joint in front of the cops on the front porch. Uh, just just throwing that out there. That was pretty neat. So at that point in time, I'd say I was 21. No, I was 22. Um, and I was in the midst of my meth addiction. So I was up in Colorado, strung out on meth, graffitiing the side of this beautiful home. Like this chick Alexa's mom's house was just gorgeous, and we were rummaging through her parents' belongings because they had rebuilt a house on top of a house that got burnt down when her dad had passed away. So her mom is in depression, and we are in the midst of this meth addiction, and we are stealing all the belongings from her mom in these boxes downstairs and selling them at pawn shops to fuel our addiction. And I'm so spun out that I'm like I'm graffitiing the side of this woman's house, and she doesn't know anything because she's not leaving the house. But all the neighbors in the neighborhood are like, "What's going on?" And I was I was so spun out that I thought I was seeing like her dead dad,
So,
like literally like standing outside the bedroom.
Yeah,
and that's the only hallucinating up for weeks at a time. And that's the reason I left Colorado. I was so freaked out that like this ghost was like haunting me. You know what I mean? And then she's sitting there saying that like I'm doing mannerisms her dad was doing. I was like, oh no, this ghost just went in my body, and now I'm possessed by this dead ghost. Like I was out there, man,
channeling all kinds of negative energy.
all negative energy. And I'm 128 pounds soaking wet, right? I know that because when I got arrested, when I got back down into Texas, that's what I weighed on the scale. When they weighed me, I'm 128 pounds. But I thought I looked good, in the mirror. You're taking selfies. You're like, oh yeah, man, I look good. But it's really just like a 6-pack and 6 ribs.
Yes.
You think you got these washboard abs, but you're really just like extremely unhealthy.
Methamphetamine chic.
Yeah. Sunk it in. Oh man.
So you made it back down to Texas.
Made it back down to Texas after a trip in Amarillo, where I was staying in this chick's room, in this chick's house, this chick and her husband's house that I met in treatment at Valley Hope.
Oh wow!
They were using too, but then they left me there. They went to Dallas and left me in this house by myself with oatmeal. So all I'm doing is eating oatmeal, and then she comes back and we start using, and I remember me. This is just weird. I just have this side note, but like we went to go meet up to get something, but this lady had this huge cyst on her head, right? And it had she was sitting there like this is just she was sitting there saying the spider had laid eggs inside of her head, and she was wanting me to pop this cyst.
What?
Yeah. There were spiders in her head.
There really were.
There were really spiders in her head. I was like,
disgusting.
I was like, damn, I'm getting grimy now.
It's time to pull chops.
I'm getting grimy. I was like, I need to go back home. So then I call, of course, last resort, you call the folks, right? My dad drives all the way out to Amarillo, comes and picks me up, and rescued me again, right? What is that? The third time, and so now I'm still 22, 23, somewhere in that range. I come back home, and I'm so traumatized. I forget exactly what happened. Like my mind still kind of blanks some stuff out, but I remember being so traumatized that I literally slept behind my bed frame in a corner, blankets over it for like a month. I wouldn't come out of this corner. I don't know what my mind still won't tell me exactly what went on, but something traumatized me there for a little while.
Yeah.
And so I say I'm going to stop using. So they send me back to Valley Hope, right? And this time things are different, right? Go to Valley Hope. I get cleaned up.
You had some willingness.
I did have some willingness. It was more like I was tired of running out of money, and I was tired of that feeling of not having dope. Is really what it was. If I really want to be truthfully honest, I was tired of the feeling that you get when you run out of dope. So, and I was out of licks,
Yeah.
So then, after Valley Dope, Valley Dope. I mean, Valley Hope. I go.
Hopefully, nobody from that organization's
Yeah.
listening.
Sorry, Valley Hope. But I went to Valley Hope and got my life kind of back on track. And then a family friend gave me a job at a printing press. And of course, I'm working there, 12, 13 hours a day, making pretty decent money. And I was probably sober for roughly 3 months. And I found somebody with cocaine, right? If not meth, why not cocaine? So I start using some more cocaine. Next thing you know, leads me back to meth. Me and my buddy Cody, uh, selling everything we got. And then I remember after that, I was still living at my parents' house, and I staged a robbery on my own parents' house.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I took the laptop, the computer, some jewelry, and I went to my dealer's house and got some dope, and came back and somebody said somebody had broken into the house. Kicked open the door. No, I didn't kick open the door. I had the door open. I had my room. I staged a scream. I screamed and said, "Hey, somebody like ran out the door." So I have all these cops sitting in my parents' house, and I'm geeked out of my mind, and they know it. You know what I mean?
In your head, you have this perfect plan.
Perfect. I had this perfect plan, perfect composure. I'm not doing this. I'm not looking crazier than I'm not sideways looking. Just and the cops know it,
Yeah.
and
You get arrested.
no, I didn't get arrested.
Wow.
I didn't get arrested, but they fingerprinted the whole house, and so after that, I got kicked out.
I'd have
Wow.
kicked your ass out.
I would have kicked my ass out a long time ago. But after that, it was me and my girlfriend Tiffany at the time. We moved into this. This sounds weird. We moved into an old nudist village. After I'm not even kidding.
I have a story about a nudist colony down in Wharton. I'll have to tell you sometime. That'll be off camera.
It was a retired nudist village. Nobody was walking around naked, right? And the people,
old saggy stuff.
Yes, like old saggy. You didn't want it to be nudist anymore, But we, I'm sorry. But I was living in a tarp, like, how you make forts. It was just like one of those outdoor pop-up tents with sheets hanging down, and we called it the gypsy tent, right?
Yeah.
So it was literally just a chair and a mat and a bunch of just like antique stuff, because we were into like just stealing antique stuff. I don't know why. That was just one of those kicks. Yeah, it made sense at the time. But that's when one of my buddies from Valley Hope calls me and comes out there to see me, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And in my head, I'm like, "Man, this is like, this is my castle." I'm so delusional about what's going on that like I think it's normal to have this little gypsy tent, living in like a little and having a little cabin in the back with a Winnebago welded to the cabin, because the cabin didn't have a bathroom or anything like that, but the Winnebago did. So they put this thing on bricks and welded this Winnebago on the back, and I thought that was my castle, man. I thought I was living large. And the crazy part is, I thought I was. You know what I mean? If somebody came up to me and asked me if I was okay, I thought I was okay.
Safe to say this was a major turning point for you.
You'd like to think that.
Yeah.
you would really like to think that, but it really actually. No, it wasn't. Because after that, I went to after he came there, we moved into a house over in Frisco, Texas, right there off Main Street, in Old Town Frisco, and it was an upgrade, but it was just a 1-bedroom apartment where 4 of us lived, and because the guy that came and got me wanted us to move over there, and of course I was using over there, and I was still selling. I'd still sell, and I started selling meth out of there to support my habit. And there was a huge hole where the water would leak down from the people above us, and it was it was in, and then my girlfriend at the time got staph infection on her face, like a MRSA staph, and it was like swelled up her whole face, like
Oh,
you couldn't
Lord.
see, like she couldn't open her eyes, and it wasn't a big emergency. But this is just to show you how much I would much rather have my drugs than even think about another human being. I sent her in an ambulance, and all she's doing is sitting there crying to me, like, "Hey, can you get in this ambulance with me and come with me?" She's like, "I'm in pain," and I remember like looking at her. I was like, "I'll be there in a couple hours. I'll be there in a couple hours," because I got to go handle some stuff. And I didn't go see her for another day in the hospital. Like I didn't even think about it. I'm off doing my thing, doing this, and thinking like I'm gonna see her when I see her, right? Uh, so then I go to the hospital and I see her, and she's hooked up to all these IVs, and like they drained it all out. And what are we doing in the hospital?
Doing dope.
Doing dope, right there in the bathroom and in the room. And eventually, she doesn't even get released. I remember like we she got everything drained and she was on her medication. I remember us just walking out. We got what we needed. Drained out. Let's go. I went back. Uh, just back to that apartment to where instead of the guy telling me he wanted me to move out, he framed somebody coming to break in and had a knife, somebody hiding in the closet, and he was waiting for me to open up the closet door because he was going to stab me with a like with a butcher knife. Like
Awesome landlord.
Huh?
Awesome
It
landlord.
wasn't a landlord. It's a guy that lived there.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to tell me to move out, but he'd rather just kill me, and instead of me opening the door, my girlfriend opened the door, and he didn't stab her. He didn't stab her. He lunged at her to stab her, and she ran into the bedroom and locked the door and threw the bed in front of the door and said, "She's like, you can't go out there. Like, you can't go out there." And in my head, like all these other things are going through my head. I was like, "What? Somebody just tried to stab you?" So I break down the door, and he's gone. He's gone. I'm running out the front door. Needless to say, paranoia kicks in, and I don't know who to trust. What's what's going on? And she looks at me, and I look at her, and I could see her ribs, like, because I'm not feeding this girl. I'm not feeding this girl, and it breaks my heart because, like, how you have those small moments of clarity, you know. And I saw
Why
her.
the hell am I doing this?
Yeah, and like just the pain that I saw in her eyes and the pain that I felt, and I was just like, it's it's time to do something, right? You thought that would change, right? That didn't change.
So cycles of rehab, back to
Mm-hmm.
work, whatever, daily life, back into addiction, rehab, back into
Yep.
addiction,
Back
rehab.
back into addiction, and you think all this stuff would make me quit,
Mm-hmm.
all these but on the journey, I'm starting to realize some things as I'm going along, right? Uh, but I don't have the proper help or the guidance, you know what I mean? Or I was just like I just didn't want to like hear it, you know what I mean? Uh, so I then, since the apartment's gone, we start hotel hopping, and I I get arrested for possession, and I go to I must be doing something wrong. He's starting to
You're
write shit on paper.
Oh no, Daniel Harvey. Just want to say what's up, bro. Just wanted to thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, well, thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, thanks for chiming in, dude.
Yeah, it's a and what was we
Hotel
start
hopping.
hotel hopping. I remember because you don't fall asleep on meth, right? You crash. I remember crashing and waking up because my girlfriend wanted me to go get some cigarettes, and accidentally get arrested because these cops are in the parking lot looking for somebody that was hitting licks on vehicles, right? So they see me, and of course I'm like, why me? Like, I don't look suspicious, but I'm tweaked out with like two belts holding up my pants, you know what I mean, with a bandana on, with like matching earrings and shit, and thinking I'm looking cool. I out of there, disbelief about how I looked. Thought I looked great. So I get arrested, and I'm in a stolen truck, and I bond out quick enough to where I don't get charged with anything yet. But then 18 days later, I get caught stealing something from Walmart, right? And so I'm booking it back to this hotel called Select Inn, and I'm booking it because the cops are after me, and they tackle me over this bridge while I'm trying to throw my stuff over, and they tackle me. This is just funny. They tackle me on this bag of dope, right? And they're like, "Oh, what's this?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know what that is." They're like, "Oh, so we just tackled you onto this bag of dope." I'm like, "Yeah, that's not my dope. That's the city of Louisville dope." They're like, "Okay, sure," but at that time, I got all these hotels under all these different names, so I have all these IDs and credit cards, and so I'm sitting in this cop car in the back of the cop car, and they're like, "Who is this guy?"
It's all about to catch up to you.
Yeah, all of it, all of it. They're like, "Who is this guy?" So in sitting in the back of the cop car, I'm in complete defeat, man. Skinny, no money, just got out of jail. My life is flashing before my eyes because I got caught with a good little amount this time, and they're searching through this wallet because I have all these IDs, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" Like they keep asking names and names and names, and eventually I just give up. I was like, "Man, I'm Nolan Bearden. I just got arrested like 18 days ago," and so I get locked up, and I sit in there for I think 7.5 months in county and Denton County, and my parents at the time had moved down to Surfside Beach, right, over in Houston.
Yep.
So the state of Texas, there's a thing called concurrent. So I got arrested 18 days after my first charge. So I got all those charges, which was fraud, possession, manufacturing, 2 thefts, and 2 burglaries that they hooked on this. Everything.
How long did you spend in jail?
7.5 months.
Wow.
Just that's not. It could have been a lot more, but concurrent means they ran all that underneath my biggest charge, which is my manufacturing delivery charge. So I get out on probation, and I come to Houston, Texas, and this is where my recovery really starts because I finally changed people, places and things. And this is where I came to Sober Living Houston, where one of the greatest guys, and I hope he can watch this, was the general manager of Sober Living Houston at the time, who actually convinced me to stay because in my head I was like, I'm not changing. You know, I'm going back to Dallas. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm scared. I'm in a different environment. I don't know anybody.
Right.
You know, I still got Tiffany out there, and I'm on the edge of my seat. You know, and he sits me down. And he's like, dude, just give it a chance, man. Like, what do you got to lose? He's like, if you don't like it, you can leave. You know, and so I stay, and I eventually get a little over 2 years clean. But on my journey, but on my journey, I went up to the CRWR, where Dylan and Dorothy West are.
What is the CRWR?
The Center for Recovery and Wellness Resources. And they trained me in recovery coaching.
Yeah.
And you just recently took that class.
Oh yeah, it's, the Wests are pretty cool.
West are
Dorothy
West are
and
fantastic.
Dylan, it'd be nice to have you on the show.
Yes, Dylan, Dorothy, come on down. Shout out. But so I was coaching for Sober Living Houston for about a year. I was managing one of the houses, the Lazy Oaks house right there off of Gessner.
So let me stop you there. What is a peer recovery support specialist or a recovery coach?
It is somebody who guides you, guide you in recovery, right? So you have sponsorship, completely different than recovery
It's different
coaching.
than being a 12-step sponsor.
Way different because there's multiple avenues of recovery, right? Outside of the AA program, I am an AA person, NA, all that, but there are plenty of avenues, and they pretty much help you set goals and find different avenues to help you with your recovery. From setting small goals, and then you accomplish those goals, and you go on to another wellness plan, right? And the cool thing about it is nobody's telling you like this is what you should be, you know. And it's the one thing about AA. I'm not trying to diss AA, but there's one thing about AA is people tell you this is the only way to do it, you know. It's the only way to do it. And a recovery coach is kind of like a cheerleader for your recovery.
Yeah.
Like, say you're shooting heroin and smoking meth,
Yeah.
but now you're not shooting heroin, but you're
To
smoking meth.
give AA its props, they say these are but suggestions.
These are but suggestions.
But yeah, you get some sponsors that like.
But in the room, yeah,
Yeah.
like this is you do this or you're gonna die. You know what I mean? And it's pretty much
Sorry, we
telling you.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yep.
12
traditions.
Sorry, it's 12 traditions.
We're learning.
But there is. Oh, where was I? I'm coming.
Recovery coaching. The difference between a 12-step program and recovery
Okay,
coaching.
it's not telling you what you got to do or who you got to be, and that this is the only way to do it.
There's just avenues.
No, but like the cool thing is you're using open-ended questions and you're talking to an individual on a personal level, right? What do you want to do? It's not what I want you to do, but it's what you want to do. And it's not like and you're in recovery and you're in addiction, so your brain's not fully unclouded yet. So we're helping you actually come to the conclusion of what you really want to do. You know what I mean? It's not my ideas of what I think you want to do, but it's your dreams and your aspirations and what you really want to do with your life. But you can't think about that because all right now is you have you're withdrawing off of drugs and you're going to meetings and doing this stuff, and all you're trying to do right now is stay sober. But recovery is way more than just staying sober. Recovery, like there's sober softball leagues. You know, there's people in recovery that have started businesses. You know what I mean? There's Tiki Paw. There's the drum circles out in Galveston. You know, there's trips
a community,
all over
a community of people, health and wellness, spiritual well-being,
biopsychosocial, the whole fitness. There's even this is not really a shout out, but there's a place called Skyline CrossFit. A dude that's in recovery that started his own little business, right? In CrossFit, and I do a word of the day. Or no, it's a workout of the day. They do a 30-minute AA meeting, and then they have a 30-minute free CrossFit every Sunday at 11 o'clock.
That's really
that's just
cool.
One little example of like some bio. You want to work on your fitness. You want to work on your nutrition. You want to work on your psyche. You know what I mean? And you want to work on your social. And that's just the whole aspect of recovery, and it's awesome. So I don't know where I was with my story, because now I'm just
you came into your solution, and you found Sober Living Houston, and you went through a recovery coach class. And you kind of started finding your own way. You started finding your own purpose, right?
Yeah, helping others, and
you found an avenue to stay fit, keep up with your health and fitness. I'm kind of an athletic guy too, man. I love movement. For me, athletic activities, it's like a whole social thing, man. And I'm doing something good for my body, and when I'm out riding my mountain bike, or I'm skydiving, or kickboxing, or doing jujitsu, or whatever I do, it quiets my mind.
Dude, I want to go skydiving
active,
so bad.
Yeah, you can come with me.
Bet.
But yeah, I mean, for me, that's how I relate it. It quietens my mind. It's a sense of peace.
It's like a release.
Yeah, all that energy. I'm a high energy guy too.
Very high energy. Actually, and the thing like, I'm actually staying at the CRWR with Dylan and Dorothy West. I actually recently had a slip up, which.
Okay, you're changing sobriety dates. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Date, to January 26th of this year. Do
you mind talking about that?
Yeah, I experimented with steroids, and in my head, and this is my addict way of thinking, I had all this time clean, and I thought it's not a mental, it's not affecting my psyche at all. It's just going to affect my bio, like my muscles and all that,
We got to get closer to the mics. Here, we'll just hold it. It looks goofy, but whatever.
Sorry, inappropriate. But I experimented with steroids, and I didn't think it was going to change me at all. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, I'm feeling better. I'm looking better. I'm feeling younger, and my ego starts getting the best of me. Right?
Turned up, the ego.
I'm like, shoot, I can handle this. You know what I mean? I'm starting to feel like I was like when I was 19, 20 years old. I'm like, I'm a drink. All right, so I had a little drink. No, whoa, reverse. Actually, that's not what happened. What happened was I was the lead man where I was working, and I took my workers down to the beach. And one of my workers looked at me over at Pier 30 down by Surfside and said, I would really like to drink with my boss. And in my head, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Excuse my language, y'all. But yeah, that's just the, was it the drug addicts?
Yeah, the addict, that
yeah,
the
the whole
addict
national
mind.
anthem. Like, fuck it. So I drank. That led to me drinking after work every single day. And I remember one of my friends that had moved in mentioned something and mentioning meth. And right from then, boom, snapped my head. It went right in that moment when I got it.
Hmm.
And so that changed my sobriety date to January 26th of 2020.
All right. So what did you learn from that? How have you integrated that into sobriety now?
Let's see. I
What's your takeaway?
I don't need any external substances in my body. I'm okay just the way I am. You know what I mean? And if I want to look fit, I don't need to take cheat codes. You know what I mean? I don't need to take the shortcut. And I really, it's because I'm really big into fitness right now. I'm really big into fitness. Whether
Yeah.
it's like I do 500 or 600 push-ups a night, you know, something like that. But I did re-break my wrist, so I haven't done that in a month. But I'm in the process of healing this, so I can get back in my working condition. But I kind of found out that I wasn't the end answer. I wasn't it. And there, and my ego got real big. I thought I was the end game. You know what I mean? Like Nolan is all is. You know, I'm good looking. I'm working. I'm making good money. I was like, the women love me. Like this is like I have arrived. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shoot, I'm it. You know, and when that brought me down to a level to where I'm not. I'm really not. Like I want to be a part of. Like I don't want to be it. I really don't. But the one good thing, I did take something really good out of that relapse. I met an amazing person, uh, an individual that I am currently involved with. Beautiful on the inside and beautiful on the out.
Cool.
And as I was using, as we were using, she was like, "You want to go to church? You should probably quit using." And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? But, yeah. So I do want to say I did gain that out of that. Yeah. So that brings me here today.
Cool.
I'm in the process. Let's do all the positives of this. I own Bearden Design, Bearden Design, which is a architectural landscape design. My dad has been an architect for 50 years, so I incorporate remodeling, landscape design, decking, patios, all that. So I own my own business. I'm in the process.
That's fucking cool.
I'm in the process of starting Recovery Gains, which is a T-shirt company and a holistic approach to recovery.
Describe Recovery Gains.
Recovery Gains is going to be a community thing. It's a concept that I came up with that it's going to be fitness events, like sporting events, social events, have LCDCs, recovery coaching, but it's all going to be centered in one area. There's going to be a T-shirt line, which I have a shirt that says Beastly Gains on the back, but I'm going to have shirts that say like Baby Gains, Beastly Gains, Master Gains. I'll give Daniel a Baby Gains one. But
he didn't look amused.
He did not look amused on that one.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, like, I don't want it to be just like my business, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
The whole recovery thing is about unity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know my ideas are great, but I know everybody has great ideas, and I want everybody to come together. If y'all want to like email me or send me text messages, like I want everybody to be a part of it. If you're a nutritionist, personal trainer,
So explain the structure of this. How does it work?
Structure.
Yep.
Is like we're gonna have an epicenter, and it's really my idea of it all is it's just going to be an epicenter where people can come, like a safe haven. People in recovery that want to do something different. We're going to have like social events, like event coordinators, like program directors and things like that. But you can get LCDCs, you can get recovery coaching and all that stuff. Like, this is just a concept that I'm coming up with right now.
So just a cool place for people to hang out, do healthy shit, and talk recovery.
Work out, because it's a holistic approach.
Hell yeah.
You got bio, psycho, social, all of it in all one area. And maybe get subcontracted out to go to like rehabs or like sober living places and things like that. So, but I want the whole community to come together and help me on it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to own it. I want the community to own it, because I think that it would bring everybody together on a different level. Yeah, and the place that I'm at now at the CRWR, we have, which is a completely different. It's changed my recovery in a completely different way, because we have anger management classes, right? We have trauma classes. We have recovery coaches on hand. So anytime that I need to have a recovery coach to help me with my goals and help me with my guidelines, all this is in my.
And do those classes cost money for people who need those type of outlets?
Not if you're staying at the houses. And actually, I believe if you come up to the recovery cafe, I don't think it's any charge.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't think it's any charge.
Center for Wellness and Recovery, correct?
Center for, yeah.
All right. So it's a good resource for folks to check out.
Good resources. And yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about, really. I don't know. This is my first time I've been on a microphone, so I've been nervous this whole damn time.
Oh, you did. I couldn't tell it, dude.
Bro, I'm sweating like a whore in church. I was blaming it on the coffee.
Yeah, the coffee is pretty strong, man.
Yeah.
It had me bouncing the walls.
Dude, I'm still fucking bouncing.
You know, that's the thing. Caffeine is the most socially acceptable, legal stimulant on the planet.
Yeah.
Widely abused.
Starbucks.
So yeah,
oh gosh.
Socially acceptable, legal stimulant on the planet.
Triple shot of espresso.
Probably only second to what? Well, maybe is nicotine's probably second to it.
Monsters.
Oh
my gosh.
Those things give me headaches, man. I have to watch my caffeine intake.
Dude, if you get a Copenhagen long cut straight with a Monster, if heaven had a flavor and a taste, that's it.
Yeah.
That combination. Oh my gosh.
So how's this COVID affecting your businesses?
Ooh. Let's just say that I've been spending a lot of money driving around doing estimates, and nobody wants to spend money. I've been putting out estimates left and right all throughout Houston, even out in Brenham. I've been supposed to be a 50-foot by 50-foot chicken coop made out of all steel, which is, I thought I was in the bag, right?
Yeah.
But I keep getting all these responses like, we don't know when we're going to get another check due to this stimulus, like do this COVID thing. Nobody knows what's going on.
Nobody knows nothing, man. I can't. Yeah, we were trying to source audio equipment at the last minute this weekend, man, and it was chasing down folks off Craigslist the entire weekend. It was crazy. Yeah. Losing sleep trying to put all this stuff together.
Jeez Louise. One thing about Craigslist and OfferUp is you get good deals because.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I used to sell stuff on OfferUp.
I try to look them over. I try to get a feel for if I even want to go out there and make a deal with somebody. So
that's probably a good choice.
But yeah, man, we're keeping this.
This is awesome.
Yeah, we're keeping this podcast going.
I like this, man. Like the way y'all got this set up, man. Been knowing Daniel for quite a while. What, like 4.5 years or so now?
I almost have 4 years.
You almost have 4 years? Rock on, man. Looking good. This is awesome, really. What you're doing.
It's a sense of purpose for me. This all got started loose lip. It keeps me engaged. It keeps me engaged with folks in recovery. I hear different avenues. I like to hear different avenues. I did the 12 steps. I've started dipping my toes into the water with sponsorship and stuff like that. So there's still, for me, I'm only this time around, I'm 7 months sober. So this is probably the most serious I've ever been. I started putting recovery first, and then it just the finances, the social life, all the rest of the things that kind of make me whole have kind of come into play, and creative outlets are a big deal for me. So it's been pretty cool to, and that's another thing about the recovery community is you find a bunch of talented motherfuckers, and all you got to do is talk. You just got to talk to people, man, and then they're on board with you, and next thing you know, you're sitting in a boardroom doing a podcast. you know, and you got a thing going.
This is
So
kind of popped up out of nowhere.
yeah.
So,
We're gonna keep it going, man. I am fully committed to moving this forward. Hiccups, you know, lots of bumps in the road. Us breaking 12 traditions.
oh,
You know,
yeah.
there's the learning
My
curve
bad.
is steep on this crap. So
But
you know, but we're gonna try to keep getting better and better and better. I want to get involved with your little
I
project
want
because
everybody to.
yeah,
Because you're but you do skydiving,
yeah.
you like mountain biking, extreme mountain biking, not
Yeah.
just what is it? Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm learning. I'm not a pro by any means, but
But you get
I
out
like
there
to
and
get
do
out there
it.
and shred. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Shoot, I want to go skydiving so bad, but I really want.
Oh, skydiving's, man, that's near and dear to me, man.
I wanna
That
do it
is
so bad.
it's I want to I hope I keep jumping until I'm in my 80s. But anyway, enough about
You might
me.
shit your pants, baby.
Oh shit, it's okay.
It's falling just as fast as I am.
Oh man, people on their first jumps. I used to tell tandems on their first jumps when they put on the jumpsuits, "Hey, go use the bathroom before you get in the jumpsuit, especially been partying the night before, because yeah, I don't want to clean your jumpsuit, buddy."
That's
The smell of fear.
the thing. The thing I think I've learned the most, like, or that I'm learning right now is like I got to ask for help. You know,
That's a
I'm-
hard
I'm
fucking thing to
really
learn, dude.
hard
That
because
was.
I'm very prideful.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
a prideful person because I'm a very capable person of going out and getting it right.
Yeah,
But I have that pride to where like I don't want people to know that I don't know something, and the fact that I'm reaching out and asking for help in different avenues because I've been doing labor for so long after I caught the felony, you know, but I've worked my way all the way up to where I know a lot of stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Do it. I'm gonna start my own company, you know. And I've been getting feedback from all these people in the program and in recovery that are helping me and guiding me and stuff. And that's really cool because like it's free advice.
yeah,
You know, because
yeah,
people in the program want to help other people.
yeah.
You know, like they don't want to see people fail. They don't. You know, they only want to push you up. So like.
Yeah, negative criticism is good criticism. At least you know where you stand,
Yeah.
man. I love it when people tell me to go get fucked. You know, I know where I stand. You know what I mean? I'm like, cool. Yeah.
All right, then.
All right, we're good. I get that.
And yeah, so it's been a journey. So at the age of 18 is when I'm.
How old are you now, Nolan? If you
30.
don't mind me, 30.
So that's 12 years.
God, I'm
from-
13 years older than you. Wow.
You're old.
I know. I am a fucking old man. God Almighty,
Salt
dude.
and pepper.
Yeah,
Hey, but
that's
the wisdom.
Irish. Yeah,
That's the wisdom.
It's the Irish. Yeah.
you know, but it's I don't know, man. Thank y'all for having me on here.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
Thank you for your time, man.
So I just like I'm not by any means an expert on anything. You know what I mean? Just a human being that's been in recovery since apparently age of 18, but finally committed and actually really wanted to help myself this last time around. That actually admitted that I needed help and that I wasn't the answer. You know what I mean? That I knew it all because I was a guy that's been in recovery since the age of 18, right? So I can quote how it works without even looking at the book. You know what I mean? But it was not the fact that I was doing the steps. I had to start living the steps in my life. But then after the steps and the foundation that the program has given me, I needed to know how to become successful in life, right? And that's where my recovery coaches and the LCDCs and all those other avenues and supports that I had, which I get at the CRW that are guiding me into like a career, you know what I mean? And actually showing
recovery
me,
coaching is a career.
It is
it
a
can't,
career. Yeah.
It's not well known. It's so basically just explain it to the crowd. Recovery coaching is a nationally and state recognized
Yep.
in between like a 12-step sponsor and a therapist. You're kind of like a concierge for recovery. You point people in the right directions to get help, and you let them you listen to what they need, you listen to their needs, and you let them make decisions. See, Dorothy, I did remember stuff from your class.
Yeah.
And people are in recovery when they
say
they are.
recovery.
That's very true.
It
And it's a process, man. And I've definitely tripped through it myself. You know, I'm an alcoholic. I was a pretty straight arrow till I was in my early 30s, and I was on the decline from a really long pretty brutal EMS career, and you know, alcohol was my outlet, and it you know, I had some learned behaviors growing up because I am the child of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yeah, mom, for sure. And yeah, so you know, it caught up to me, and it's taken me a good 8 or 10 years to get a handle on that because I'm fucking prideful as hell, you know, and
Yep.
you know, I've
I
had
think
to.
men in general, we have this, you know,
Yep.
I'm not asking for help. I got this. Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean help?
I don't need any help.
No.
I was, you know, for 15 years, I was the one helping everybody in need. You know, people find out you're really kind of a mess on the inside. You know, they're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, he's saving our asses, and he's a wreck. What?
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? I think I felt this is weird to say this, but I think I felt more like a man when I actually became vulnerable to somebody else giving me help. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
no.
actually having open communication about my feelings.
Vulnerability. What I'm learning from my grand sponsor, Sid Ganon, is vulnerability is a strength.
That is a strength that like I had to get beaten into me.
Yeah,
You
me
know?
too. Me too, man.
So, but yeah, that is
All
what I'm
right.
about.
Anybody you want to say hi to? Any shout outs? Any plug? You can plug whatever, dude. I do not care.
So I have Bearden Design, which is my landscape design company. Shout out to myself, I guess. And my logo is actually designed by JB Artistry. My girlfriend Julie Brown designs it. So if you need a logo designed for your company, maybe shoot it out to her. It's jbartistry89@gmail.com. I have her phone number and things like that if you want to shout out to my page, either on Bearden Design or my Facebook page.
We can include all this information. This is going to be up on YouTube as well. These will be archived to YouTube.
Deal. One of them. She's a good soul.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I want to shout out to the CRWR,
the Center for Wellness and Recovery.
The Center for
right here
Recovery
in Houston, Texas.
and Wellness Resources,
Yeah.
and the Recovery Cafes off of Elgin. I thought you were in the class, man. But we're Miss West and Dylan West are starting something that hasn't been started before, and it's teaching women nutrition, because when you're out there in your addiction, you don't know how to eat. You know, like I was on, like, you don't know a diet, you don't know nutrition, you don't know anything like that. And like older women in recovery, what are they going to do when they get sober?
Yeah.
You know, say you're in your 50s and things like that, and you don't know how, like, they're teaching women how to cook and do things like that. We have all these vegetable gardens growing. I've been prepping gardens in my back with tomatoes, all sorts of stuff, man. And it's just a beautiful thing to be a part of. And I'm getting to build these things. So it's just like, that's my outlet. Yours is extreme sports. Mine's building stuff, man. If you want anything built outdoors, I'm your guy. And if you want any logos and design, Julie's your girl. Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, you know, get with a program, keep working it, dust off your knees when you fall down, find yourself a sense of purpose and some good, healthy outlets, and take care of your bodies. All right,
I like the party.
Yeah, I like the party.
I like the party.
You can be a maniac in sobriety.
Yes, you can.
And have fun for sure. All right, cool. That's it for Houston Recovery Radio. Comment on our page. We'd love to hear your feedback. Tomorrow, Friday, not tomorrow, Friday, a few days down the road. Friday, we're going to have Jessica Yeager. She's also a recovery coach. She's going to be on Friday, and we'll talk to her. Nick Darrow and Cecilia Cruz are going to be our hosts, so it should be a pretty good show.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Like, there's one thing about recovery coaches, like, they can go advocate for people that are in addiction inside courtroom, inside things like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's right.
And that is something that is groundbreaking. The fact that the state of Texas is letting somebody that's not a counselor, not anything like that, but somebody that's actually lived that experience to tell
go up
judges
in front of a judge,
and things like that are just like, dude, we've been there. You know what I mean? We've been there. Like, we know how this works. You don't. You know what I mean? Have you ever been homeless? Have you ever been under a bridge? Have you ever been like shooting dope? No, they haven't. So how do they know how to fix somebody like that? They don't.
That's a good point. I didn't.
Yeah, they're gonna advocate for people inside the courtroom, and that's I think Jessica Yeager does all that. So.
Oh wow. Yeah. I hear she's a pretty interesting person to talk
She
to.
is. She's a cool
So
cat, man.
yeah, I'm still doing my homework on her, but we'll see her Friday. So
she's got a cool Dodge. I'm gonna tell you that.
oh, yeah. All right. Oh yeah, yeah. Daniel just reminded me. We do have a GoFundMe page. We're not getting paid to do this. We're dumping a lot of money out of our pockets. Which, if anybody knows me, I'm a broke dick. So I'm scrounging for. I mean, we do have a GoFundMe page. Anything you send us goes towards audio and visual equipment to make this a better production, and you will see the results in our future broadcasts. Also, if you want to email us at Houston Recovery Radio 411@gmail.com. If you have any audiovisual equipment you want to donate to us, we'll be happy to take that. So, yeah, check out our GoFundMe page or give us your old AV equipment. All right. So, peace out, guys.
Much love, y'all.
Yeah, and we'll see you Friday. Bye.